spiritually matured. People who know their God. Spiritually matured, that means they've taken up responsibility in the kingdom. And know their God. They shall display. The other translation says, they shall be strong. These are the remnants, Mama Tatu. We are talking about people who are going to resist the enemy. You see right now, it's not the mask that will help. It's not the social distancing that will help. I know what the government is saying, and I'm not calling you to be lawless. I am just telling you, these things are not the solution. It is the people who know their God that shall act. Other translations say, they shall do. And then King James, they add NIT, it says, they shall do exploits. While the Hebrew ends here, they shall do. They shall go into action to resist. Imagine, you cannot lay hands on me because I'm a leper. While the wisdom of God says, you shall lay hands on this. This is the wisdom of God. Amen. It is the people who know their God. The issue is there. Everything started there. As the Lord was starting to speak with me, he was speaking that knowing me, intimacy with me. And I said, but Lord, I'm in reality now. I'm a pastor. I've been born again. I'm from Sunday school to youth, to be youth, and youth pastor to be pastor who's youth. And I went with the ranks. I must qualify to be called. I know God. Amen. But the Lord did not even talk about that. The Lord did not even mention how long have I been in this thing. It is not the time that you've been in this thing that turns things around. It is the revelation of the Spirit that will turn things around. God is calling us to a place, it's a supernatural place. Things don't happen, okay, get about 50 rand, it's a hike like it here. Here people are applying spiritual principles and spiritual laws, and they are getting supernatural and spiritual results. I'm not talking about drips and drabs here. I'm talking about the abundance of life. I have come that they may have life and life in abundance. What is choking the life in abundance? Because Jesus came and he just went. And did he accomplish what he came for? I say yes, Jesus accomplished it. But where is life and life in abundance? We are called to a life of glory. Where is the glory? It's like now I'm with Gideon. And he says, but where is the God of our forefathers? We are told that he parted seas. We are told that he crushed the enemies of Israel. I heard a lot about this God. But I don't want stories. Where is he? I want to meet up with him. His hunger was so strong that it sanctified him because he grew up, or he was in a house where the father was a high priest of Baal. But the man did not bow to Baal because he had a hunger to see a God who parted seas, to see a God who dismantled kingdoms, to see a God who shook and shakes mountains. He had a hunger. Gideon. It is the people who know their God. But the question, but Lord, how can we get to know you? How do we become intimate with you? I've been born again so far, but this word, it is challenging me. Do I really know you? Even if I don't see a physical manifestation of an angel, it's okay. But I want to be listed among those who know their God. Because it is important. But we are talking about knowing your God who cannot be seen with our eyes. Knowing your God, how can you come with MTN, Vodacom, Sensi, Telco? You cannot reach him with those networks. What is the network? Because it is the people who know their God. And you can never know a person unless there is communication, unless there is intimacy, Unless there's a working together. You know, sometimes we don't talk. We just walk together. Sometimes we just in the house. But you know that you are in the house and you are loud. Because you are connected to a network. You are connected to a network. But the question is, what is the network of God? God, did you give us something? What was Jesus' secret? What was the secret of the apostles? What was the secret of the prophets of old? Who revealed unto us dimensions of God that we are still dreaming about, but they were living in those dimensions. John, who was in the spirit, the Bible says. He says, John, who was in the spirit, the angel saw him and he called him. The guy was in the spirit. The angel called him. How did this man live? How was his life? Is your life, if we can weigh it against these guys, these men of God, these servants of God, will you pass the test? Will you pass the test? What made Paul so resilient? You still stand. There's something that Paul knows. That even after the hardships, he says, I slept in the sea a couple of times. I summoned this, and I'm in Corinthians, 2 Corinthians 12, 11. He's telling them, guys, I suffered, but I never stopped. Up until he says, but I know a man 14 years ago. After all these things that happened, they were like a wind beneath his wings. He says, now I was in the third heaven. Witches cannot follow you in the third heaven. Witches cannot follow you in the third heaven. They will be annihilated. They will just disappear. Don't you know the story of an eagle? An eagle can be chased by vultures. They can chase, but the eagle has an ability in it to fly facing the sun. The glory of the sun. That's an eagle. It has an extra.